What's going on, guys? So today I'm out here in beautiful downtown Fort Worth, Texas. This is an absolutely beautiful area of town. I believe they're actually having the rodeo this weekend, but it is super packed that way. But this is a really cool event. Chevrolet invited me up to actually do a test drive with the system that is relatively new on the new Silverado half-ton trucks, and that is Super Cruise. Now, you guys might recall that I was at the GM Proving Grounds a couple of years ago doing some prototype test driving with GMC, but now they have this technology on the Chevy Silverado pickup trucks, the half-ton trucks, and the towing technology built into Super Cruise is pretty dang phenomenal because it gives you the capability now to tow a trailer and to have automated hands-free driving to where the truck will actually pull the trailer automatically without any type of driver interaction unless it's required, unless there's a scenario where it's needed. This is super cool technology and it's very cutting edge and evolving. There's a lot of intricate pieces that go into making sure that this is safe. Sensors everywhere, cameras, all sorts of different things. Now, the one limitation of the feature when you are towing a trailer is the ability for it to automatically change lanes. So if you all recall, when we were in Detroit, when you have the truck by itself, it will automatically change lanes. But because the sensors for it to understand when cars are coming up are on the back of the truck, when you have a trailer behind you, it disables that feature, simply because when you're trying to figure out exactly how much length you need, whenever you're trying to maneuver in between traffic, in and out, you need to have a better, clearer understanding of exactly what's going on, and they prefer that you do that versus the truck try to do that in a towing scenario. That said, we're going to be taking this truck out with this, looks like a 20-foot long trailer, might even be a little bit longer than that. We're going to go on a defined route through downtown Fort Worth, Texas, during lunch. This is rush hour. This is definitely a time of day that you are more anxious whenever you're towing a trailer, whenever you don't have automated technology built in. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this comes together and how it performs in a towing environment in a densely populated, very, very busy downtown lunch hour traffic environment. Now, the key here is that I had a preliminary briefing before we did this, and they actually said, let the technology work. Let it do its thing. Don't try to intervene unless you absolutely have to. But there's going to be a lot of scenarios where you're towing, especially when you're towing in a real life scenario, that you're going to want to grab the wheel. You're going to want to take over. If you don't have to, don't do it. Let the truck do its thing. Let the technology work. So I'm really interested in seeing how that works. Anyways, guys, that's the intro. We're going to kick to driving. Hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are behind the wheel of this 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 High Country. This is a super loaded out trim. Have the Super Cruise light indicator right here. A lot of different statuses that you have to be aware of whenever you're towing. We have a predefined route that I'm going to follow right here. As I go around this route, there's different waypoints. It's going to ask me to continue because they do want me to stay on their prescribed route. Everything in here feels very, very familiar because I have the 2023 GMC Denali pickup truck. We have the trailer behind us in tow. I believe they actually have some cameras set up here as well for invisible trailering. There's our trailer. That's the inside camera. And there's, well, the invisible camera's not on yet because I'm actually in the process of moving and turning slightly. Let's go back to our navigation. All right. We're going to hit the road now. The mirror is pretty much being blocked by the trailer. I think most people who tow trailers probably understand that. So I'm going to make a right-hand turn here. They told me to engage Super Cruise when I get on the actual highway. Adjust some of my mirrors a little bit. Probably should have done that before I left.
Make a U-turn, then turn right onto North Main Street.
Okay, so it doesn't want me making a U-turn here. So I need to go up once. I believe this is where I'll try to make a U-turn. Like how the mirror switches over. This is what my trailer does as well, or my truck does as well when I'm towing. You know, it's tough to do this because my instincts are always to kind of do it myself. Like even with the tow technology package.
Turn right.
You know, whenever it comes to backing up,
400 feet.
I don't
turn
trust
right
the
onto North
technology
Main
per
Street.
se.
Take the next right onto North Main Street.
All right. This is such a super cool area of Fort Worth.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Northeast 28th Street.
You can see the different waypoints already dialed in. So once I get to them, it'll probably ask me to continue. And the reason why it's set up this way is, you know how Google always wants to kind of take the shortest route to get somewhere. And if I don't hit continue, it's going to try to loop me back around the shortest possible way. So I have to have it constantly continuing the trip that I want to go on.
Take the next right onto Northeast 28th Street.
This feels very, very similar to my Denali whenever I'm towing a trailer without weight distribution, like a dump trailer or my new small dump trailer or my larger one.
Continue on Northeast 28th Street for 3/4 of a mile.
And the way you turn on cruise control right here is you simply press the downward button, because that's your cruise, and I can press down and it's going to engage cruise control whenever I'm in an area to engage it. And then whenever I get on a roadway that has Super Cruise available, which is like 400,000+ miles of US roads, plus they're expanding that. I think it's going to be like 750,000 miles worth of roadways pretty soon, but it's a lot of roadways that you can go on. So I'll get to waypoint 1 right here, then I'll hit continue. And this is interesting because there are a lot of folks who might get a Silverado with Super Cruise, maybe not because they want Super Cruise, but maybe because it's the truck that's available with the package that they are looking for at a dealership. And if that's the case, you know, you're probably going to want to use it at some point. You're probably going to want to explore how well it works for you and if it's something that you might actually find handy and safe. So these drives are great at bringing that element out, right? Understanding that you may not really intentionally think it's a technology you would use until you have a truck that has it and you're like, you know what, let's see how it works. Let's see if it's something that can help me out. Let's see if it's something that might make my towing life a little bit easier.
Your destination is on the left.
So now I have to hit continue. I miss the heads-up display that I have in my truck. I think this one actually has the HUD. It might just be adjusted too far down. Let's see here. I do have the heads-up display buttons on here. There we go. Yeah, they just had it adjusted really low.
In a 1/4 mile, merge onto I-35W South.
Man, this truck is not struggling at all to tow this weight. But you can tell it's back there, though.
Merge onto I-35W South, then you will arrive at your destination.
Okay, we got some pretty heavy traffic. It's not crazy heavy, but it's reasonably heavy.
You have arrived.
Continue. Okay, now we should be able to engage Super Cruise. All right. Super Cruise is now on. It's supposed to adjust my following distance and everything because I am towing. Okay, so I'm not touching the brake at all. I'm not touching the steering wheel. It is super, super stressful. I'm not kidding you, especially I'm behind a semi-truck right now. And cruise is set at 51 miles an hour. Speed limit here is 65, but I don't think we're going to get going that fast. It is, it's very strange. It's very strange not to be touching the steering wheel, not to be touching the gas or the brake, and to be towing a trailer in Fort Worth, Texas, which is not a small city, and relying on this technology to keep me safe. That's really, really crazy. All right, there we go. Super Cruise enabled. And the truck is driving itself. And this is really where you would use it on interstates and highways when you're traveling longer distances. I can't really see someone wanting to use this extensively in a city environment, unless maybe you're just passing through on an interstate. But this is really the perfect type of scenario that you would use Super Cruise. You know, you're driving on a busy or even a light interstate, and you're traveling in between cities, and you're towing a trailer, and you want to have a hands-free towing experience, if that's you. I don't know if I would want that, because I kind of rest my hands on the steering wheel too. I don't necessarily grip the steering wheel just because I'm trying to, you know, constantly have a death grip on it. I rest my hands on it. But in this case, you know, my hands are off. It's maintaining speed, towing a trailer, and it's maintaining the lane as well. You do have to keep your eyes forward. If you try to fall asleep or you try to move your head away too much, it'll actually notify you that you need to pay attention to the road, which is a really good feature, because we all know stories, we've heard of stories where people in certain types of vehicles aren't paying attention to the road that they're on, and it can lead to very, very bad things happening. So the truck has integrated sway control built into it, and it's not really windy outside, but this is a really long trailer for this truck without any type of weight distribution or sway control. It's directly on the ball, and you can feel the truck moving around a little bit, but the truck's controlling it well. Now, Super Cruise is matching the speed of the vehicle in front of me too much, so I don't know why it just dropped me down that low. It kept me in the lane, and it kept notifying me that I think it was about to turn off, and that was the key. Okay, so Super Cruise is back on. It's cool technology, and I do think it's there. I think that they've figured it out. I think it's at a point now to where it works fine. It's just understanding when you need to intervene, when it's going to intervene, and when it's going to tell you that something's happening. Just so you understand that there's always a chance in traffic that you're going to have to take control of the vehicle again. And I think that that's totally fine. You know, when we tested another vehicle with Super Cruise on it, we used it on a pretty long stretch of highway, and it was actually pretty dang convenient, to be honest. It was nice. I'm not going to say that I relied on it or that it was something I had to have, but it certainly was a cool feature to have. And it was one that I feel I would use, with the understanding that, you know, there are times that you have to take control, that it's going to want you to take control, that there's scenarios where you need to take control. Like
2 miles, take the Hanley interval.
Right now, you can see that we're going around a corner or a curve, and it's maintaining its lane. I'm not having any problems at all. I'm perfect distance away from the vehicles in the lanes next to me. It's a stress-free towing experience once you get past the anxiety of letting the system take over and take control. Now, I don't know what scenarios could happen that would make you lose that trust, right? Something that's unexpected, but this is kind of one of those things. You kind of gain trust in the system as you use it, and then eventually you kind of get to the point to where you trust it unless there's absolutely some reason that you can't trust it anymore. And right now I'm feeling more comfortable, more confident with it, because it's doing a good job maintaining the lane. It's doing a good job maintaining my following distance. I don't feel like I'm all over the place. I don't feel stressed out with it. The vehicle in front of me, as it slows down, I'm going to slow down. And I can say that it's doing a good job at what it's designed to do at this point. It's very cool, to be honest with you. I mean, it's very, very innovative technology. See, it's blinking now. It wants me to put my hands back on the steering wheel. It said Super Cruise disengaged, and it said that last time too. I probably just didn't see it because of my angle with the steering wheel. But again, it's just understanding that it could disengage at some point, and you do need to be prepared to grab the wheel, and it notifies you, it warns you. It's going to hold your lane. It'll just start to slow down and become more aggressive about notifying you to let you know that this is something that you need to take control of. Again, if I didn't have the trailer behind me, it would also do lane changing, and it would go around vehicles that are moving slower. Or when you are towing a trailer, it disengages that feature, so it doesn't do automated lane changes whenever you're towing a trailer, and that makes sense.
Turn left toward Airport Freeway.
Okay, so we're heading back. Wanted to give you my honest evaluation of how I think the system works. I trust it, so there's probably some good news. It was pretty quick to kind of warm up to it, to feel that it's not going to put you in a bad situation. Once you start understanding, what's happening when lights are flashing and when it says to put your hands back on the steering wheel, basically take control of the vehicle. So I do trust the system. I think that the system is designed well enough with enough safeguards in place, personally speaking, that it could probably build the type of confidence in most drivers that they would need to trust the system. That makes sense. Would I use the system tremendously if I had it? That's a tough one. I don't know if I would use the system that much.
Keep right to continue
Only
on
because
28th Street.
I personally like to know that I'm 100% in control of my vehicle all the time. And
Keep right to continue
that's
on
really where
28th
you
Street.
don't get that sense of confidence, is that if you are the type of person who, let's say you back up a trailer, a lot of cool technology to help you back up a trailer, but you still prefer to do it yourself. That's kind of the scenario that I'm in here. I prefer to have my hands on the wheels. I prefer to have my hand guiding the truck, knowing that my actions are what's directly in control of the trailer. Now, there's a lot of folks out there who might specifically want this type of technology. Like, they've been looking for this. This is something that would help them be less fatigued going down the road. Maybe you haul a travel trailer all over the place. Maybe you haul a utility trailer or a landscaping trailer or a cargo trailer, and you're on highways a lot, and you want to have the ability to put your hands down, take your foot off, and just kind of relax while you're still paying attention to the road and what's in front of you. Well, if that's you, then this system would probably be very handy. What I could almost guarantee, though, if you buy a truck and it has this system in it, you're probably going to use it. Wow, look at the jets off to the left. I don't know if you can see it. Looks like there's some aerobatics going on right now. I don't know if it's the Blue Angels or not, but it certainly looks like something they would do. All right, so that's kind of the deal here. Is I think if you get the system and it comes on a truck that you buy, you will likely use it. I think if you're speccing out a super high trim truck and it's an option box that you can check and you don't care about the price increase for that option, you would probably use it. If you get like a super high end truck and it's on the dealership lot and it already has it, I'm sure at some point you would use it just for the whole sake of knowing that you've used a piece of technology that comes on your truck. I feel that that's a fair thing to say, and I feel that that's something that would probably be how most people would use the technology. I don't know how often people would use it if they had it, though. That's the only difference. If you're on the road a lot, then I'm sure it has its place. I really am. It has so many safeguards to prevent you from falling asleep, moving in your seat, doing things that are unsafe, to try to manipulate the system, that I don't think you have to worry too much about that happening. But overall, it's cool. It's super cool technology. It's something that I believe will help a lot of folks. It's something that a lot of folks probably, even if you have it, may not use it. But I think most people would probably end up using it at some point of owning a vehicle if it has it already equipped. Anyways, guys, we're going to take the trailer back, wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gave you some insight on, whether or not this is a feature you want to have on your Chevy or GM truck. And if it's something you opt to get, let me know how you feel in the comment section. If you have the technology, let me know how often you use it. I'd love to know. Leave a comment below. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.